by Vorwerk.
Macca's new loose change menu.
There we go. Let's get rid of that. We certainly don't want Macca's, do we? We want to be eating food we've made in our Thermomix. Welcome to my kitchen. My name is Michelle Moss, and I am joined this evening by Mandy and Diana, two gorgeous teammates. We seem to be a little bit of a dynamic trio at the moment. I said dynamic duo yesterday, and that just didn't add up. So I do enjoy presenting with them, and we all learn from each other and have a laugh every day. So we're so happy that you've been able to join us this evening. We had over 30 people registered for tonight, and a few people say, I've registered because I want the recording. I can't come. I've got another, I've got something else on. But we're really flattered, and we love that you enjoy watching them, and we love the feedback that we get and how inspired you are by what we do. So tonight's demo dishes were discussed about using the two items that are currently our gift with purchase, either with a straight purchase or a trade-up offer, which are the cutter and our blade cover peeler. What we did learn today, and what most of you may already know, is that this offer ends on Monday. But we have learned that the new offer is actually going to start tomorrow. So over the course of the next couple of days, you have a choice of which offer you'd like to go with. Don't we all love choice, right? This one or that one. If someone just says, oh, this is what you're getting, it's like, oh, we've got a choice. So you've got until Monday to decide which offer you like. And the new offer, I'm excited to tell you, is a free bowl blade and lid set, a beautiful cookbook. In fact, I'll grab it because I've got one in there. Beautiful hardcover coffee table cookbook, and wait for it, a $200 voucher for Woolworths to do your grocery shopping. Wow. I could see some excited look on some faces then. So these are the two offers. Our current offer, for those who aren't sure, is our cutter, our blade cover peeler, which you're going to see with Diane this evening, and a $300 mixed shop voucher. So with that voucher, you could choose to buy an extra bowl blade and lid set. So they're both amazing choices. It's really about what will work for you and what you're doing in your kitchen. So we're going to show you these ones tonight, and then you'll obviously have the option of knowing what the other one is. But keep in mind, the cutter is also a host reward. So if you go with the other option, you could host a demo and then access the cutter that way. So there's lots of choices. And if you want to sort of understand in more detail, please speak to your consultant. Now, joining me this evening also is my special guest appearance, TM31. So I wanted to have them side by side. So for those Team 31 owners who are sort of going, what's the difference? I mean, there's some obvious differences, the screen and the size of the bowl, but what does that really mean? So we'll talk about a little bit about that tonight as well. But really the biggest thing with the TM6 is that, as the video says, it gets better and better. So we have all these amazing modes, and I'll actually flip you back to my screen. I've just been playing with some recipes. Now, what I'm going to do is make the screen a little bit darker so it's easier for you to see. There we go, that's better. And go in here and have a look. So when you turn the TM6 on, this is your home screen. And for those who are used to cooking with a TM31, the language that you're used to is time, temperature, and speed, and that hasn't changed. So the simplicity of upgrade is real. You don't have to, you will learn some new things because you've got new capabilities, but they're not hard to learn. So here we've got time, temperature, and speed. Now with your 31, you've got a little button that's got reverse. Here it's just in the blade on the screen. So tap the blade and it becomes your reverse. Tap it again and it disables the reverse. Now you may be able to see there's 3 dots on the bottom of the screen. What that means is that there's 3 screens. So as you know, there's no scrolling on your TM31. So what you've got here are 18 different modes. Now, when we first got the TM6, there were only 9. So just to give you a little bit of an idea, a bit like when you turn your phone on and there's an update, you'll turn your TM6 on and there's an update there as well. So lots of different modes there. So the first 3 along the top are the ones that you've got with your TM31. We've got scales, we've got a dough mode, and we've got turbo. The difference with the scales is they do weigh in 1 gram increments, which I know for some savoury cooking is not so relevant, but for some baking and sort of more chefy type cooking, they love that part of it. The dough mode you've got and the turbo mode you've got. Then there are all these other modes that are new and amazing. So we will go through those as we go through the demo tonight. But certainly I would encourage you to have a demo at home just with yourself and a couple of friends. You choose the menu and you can go through those in quite a lot of detail. But just to give you a little intro, when you go into any of these modes and you press the little eye on the top, it gives you instructions on how to use them. So again, a lot more options than TM31, but very intuitive and quite easy to use as well. So not to be overwhelmed. If we go in the other direction, that's where we've got our Cookie Do platform. So for those who are unfamiliar, Cookie Do is like our Netflix for recipes. So it has a whole range of recipes. In fact, over 90,000 recipes. You can type in an ingredient, you can type in a genre. So you might go, I want to make a curry, and then just curries will come up. Or you might type in chicken, and then you'll get chicken soup, chicken curry, chicken lasagna, chicken enchiladas. So, chicken pie, chicken burgers, etc. So it really helps meal plan, because if you talk to anyone, about what's happening in the kitchen, one of the hardest things is not actual cooking, it's thinking of what to cook. So that's where Cookie Do is incredible. It has a lot of other features as well, shopping lists, and you can send those shopping lists to Woolies to get your groceries delivered or organise a click and collect, which is why we've partnered with Woolies for this great offer for you guys with the voucher if you go with that option. Anyway, I feel like I've given a very lot of information in a short period of time, but just for those who don't know, the price of a TM6 is $2,579, and it does come with everything that you need to start cooking, including the offer, either offer. And if you are trading up from a TM31, we actually give you a $380 cashback off your TM6 to allow for the fact that you are a loyal customer and a trade-in price for your TM31. So that brings your price down to $2,199. We do have a variety of payment options, including finance or credit card. And then for the full price, we have the option of Easy3 as well. And we always have the option of joining our team, which means you can buy a Thermomix, come on board, buy a business kit and start your business, or you might decide to put a deposit on a Thermomix and earn your Thermomix as you join the business. So lots of options there. But anyway, we will talk about those a bit more later, but I know you're here to not just hear me talk, but to see some cooking. So we're going to go over to the gorgeous Diana first, because her dish needs a bit of time in the oven once she's prepared it. And it's definitely a family favourite in all our households. So I'd be interested to know who wants to make it after you've seen Diana make it tonight. So thank you, Diana. Over to you.
Hi everyone, Diana here. So what I am making is a gratin dauphinoise, so basically your classic potato bake. So a lot of people think of the Thermomix either a kitchen tool or this all-in-one kitchen, but forget that it's actually fantastic for a lot of side dishes. So if you're still having a barbecue or a roast in the oven or something else is happening, don't forget about your Thermomix. It's got great side dishes and even desserts and breakfast and all other things as well. So what I am going to show you today is this blade cover peeler accessory. So this doesn't normally come with your Thermomix, but one of our offers, you'll actually get one for free. And what this is used for is to peel potatoes and other vegetables. I know Mandy likes to use it to peel ginger. I love to use it to peel my garlic, especially when I'm making my curry pastes. And it works really well with baby beetroot as well, so you don't have to get your fingers all dirty. And we have a special mode in the TM6. So when we swipe across here, as Michelle was mentioning, there's all these different modes. So I'm just going to pop on the peeler mode there. So it does all the thinking for you. Now with the bowl there, the blades always stay in, and this little attachment just pops on. You just twist it on like this. And the blade cover peeler, it is used to peel, like I said, your vegetables and so forth, but it's also used for a lot of the slow cooker dishes, and also if you want to do some sous vide cooking, which is super fancy. And another thing that I like to use it for is poaching my eggs, and it does a fantastic job. So now I have just bought your regular white potatoes that you normally get in a 2 kilogram bag from Woolworths, just to show you that these are no special potatoes. They're just going to pop in here. And another feature which you have on the old Thermomix, the TM31, is built-in scales, and you'll still have them here. So I'm going to pop the scales up, because with the potatoes there, we're just going to add about 600 grams of water. So usually we peel about, when I do my potatoes, about 800 grams. Oops, I'm a bit over with the water, but that's okay. 800 grams. Now, it does cause a bit of frothiness. So here's a little tip. You can actually add a teaspoon of olive oil or some sort of oil, and it will decrease the amount of frothiness. I'm not going to bother tonight, but that's okay. So let's pop on the peeler mode there. And all we need to do is turn the dial, and those potatoes are going to peel themselves. So absolutely fantastic if you've got 5 kilos to do at Christmas. So think about that. But it's hands-free for me now. So should we jump on to Mandy? Do you want to go
over to Mandy? Thanks, Diana. We'll see you in 4 minutes. Hi, Mandy.
Hi, thank you very much. So there's a question in the chat, actually, Diana or Michelle, you might want to answer that one. All right, so the recipe I'm making actually uses the Thermomix Cutter and the blade cover peeler, but I'm not going to go through the cutter. I've actually prepped that using the cutter, my vegetables, because Michelle's going to show you that in detail. But I am making a really awesome salad, which is the coconut poached chicken using the Thermomix Cutter. So I'm going to start cooking. It's asking me for 80 grams of raw unsalted peanuts. Popping my lid on. 3 seconds, speed 5. And then I'm going to pop them into a small bowl because they're actually going to be a bit of a garnish at the end. So there we are. There's, you know, bit of a mixture of how they've been chopped up. Some are smaller and some are bigger. Those out. Okay, and then moving straight on, I have a 2 centimetre piece of ginger. It might be a little bit generous. Don't tell my husband because I'm very keen on ginger. That can go in. 2 red chilies, which I have cut in half, and I've left the seeds in, but you can absolutely take the seeds out. With all our recipes on here, it's guided cooking, so you can add, take out, don't want chili, don't have the chili. And then I've got 2 Jackfruit lime leaves. Have you noticed they've changed their names? That's going in, and I'm going to pop the lid on. Again, 3 seconds, speed 7. Never ceases to amaze me, really, this Thermomix, because look at that. How long would it take you to do that by hand? I was cooking with someone the other day, and I said I had no Thermomix. I have no knife skills because I've got a Thermomix. I don't need them. So anyway, I'm going to put, straight down the sides and tip it out. And then 60 grams of fish sauce. It's going back on. 5 seconds, speed 5. So it's really just mixing it all up together. And then I do need to put that into a bowl. So this is part of the dressing. And just a reminder, oh gosh, don't put your head over it. Chilies, goodness me. Always when you're scraping, push down to the bottom and go in a clockwise direction. Although Michelle was talking to us yesterday about that's fine if you're right-handed. If you're left-handed, it makes things a little bit awkward. But generally, if you go in a clockwise direction, you're hitting the rounded side of the blade, not the other side. Diana, if we need to come back to you, just let me know.
I've got 2 seconds left.
Okay, all right, well, let's go back to you and then I can continue afterwards. That's fine too.
So I just want to, without tipping all this onto the laptop, just show you there that is the potatoes all peeled, and you can see there's a bit of frothiness. So just to decrease that, if you want to, you can just add a teaspoon of oil. So what I'm going to do now is just pour that down the sink. Pour all this down the sink. You can actually use this to water your plants, so it's actually very good. But I'm just going to rinse this, and just to show you, well, I've got some that I've just done earlier, how this has actually worked and peeled those potatoes beautifully there. So I'll just rinse these off. So if somebody wants to jump on quickly, and then I'll assemble the cutter and show everyone how I slice the potatoes in the cutter in about a matter of seconds.
Awesome, Diana. I'll just go on with my next little thing here. So so now I am actually going to put my blade cover peeler in. I haven't washed the bowl, but it's just going there as Diana did, just sitting on top there. There is a little video on this, but so if you're unsure, you can just press the video and it'll show you exactly how to do it. Then I'm going to add 800 grams of coconut milk, because I'm going to poach this chicken. Now, I don't know what brand you guys use, but the Iron brand is popular with us. No additives and preservatives in the Iron brand. They might have shortchanged me, but there's no additives and preservatives. Maybe the additives and the preservatives take up the other 40 grams in the other tins. No, there is a little bit more here. That'll do. Close enough. Then I have 2 stalks of lemongrass, the white part only, cut into halves and bruised. I have 2 more of these lovely lime leaves and 40 grams of brown sugar. I also have 40 grams of lime juice. I only realised, I don't know, when you're cooking Asian food, lime juice is so important. It adds so much flavour. It's just awesome. Okay. And then what I've got to do is just going to start heating up for 4 minutes. I'm just going to put the simmering basket on top. TM6 simmering basket has a lid for TM31 owners. And it's just going to heat up. It's on reverse because we don't want those things chopped up. And it's 4 minutes, 100 degrees on reverse. So over to Diana.
Okay, I am back. So I'm making the potato bake, and this is a recipe that actually uses the Thermomix Cutter. So all the recipes in Cookie have an image there of the finished product. So if you're like me and a visual person, you want to know what it looks like, you'll have a picture there, and all the information about the recipe below, the difficulty. This one's quite easy. It also has the nutritional facts and hints and tips. So let's get cooking. So it's just asked me to preheat my oven, which I have already done, and to get a ceramic dish ready, which I have. I'll just skip this bit. So this is about weighing the potatoes. So now we're going to attach, pop the cutter in. So we start off with this shaft, and that's going to go into the center there, like so. And you've actually got step-by-step pictures and diagrams here as well. So then we pop the bucket, that goes in there. So the good thing about this is that it's going to catch all our sliced potatoes, and the bowl will stay nice and clean. Now we're going to then pop the slicing disc on, and the disc actually has images there. So this one is for slicing. And if you look on the other side, it has, I'm just trying to catch it in the light, an image of grating pieces. So we're slicing, so we actually want this side up, and we do have a little saying, slate for slicing, grey for grating. So that's going to pop on like so, and it's got a little picture there. So pop that on there, and the cutter also has a pusher that you can feed your vegetables in. And the good thing is that you'll have a wide area for wide vegetables and fruit, and a small one. So the small one's really good if you're trying to slice up some radishes or skinny carrots and so forth. So we'll just press next there. There we go. And it's already preset. So we just need to, we can already start popping our potatoes in there and then turn the dial. And we just pop our potatoes in like so. So I'm just going to do half of those potatoes just for now, and then that's my dish. I'm just using this cast iron dish. This is from the mix shop as well. And have a look at the potatoes, how beautifully and evenly those have sliced. So I'm just going to pop them in the bottom of my baking dish. And then I'll just repeat that step. So if Mandy, did you want to go next? Or do you want to stay on me?
Oh, you're good at talking.
Am I?
You know you're good
We
at
all
talking.
know what a great talker I am. Absolutely.
No, I've got 40. Actually, no, you can come back to. I'll come back to me because I've got 40.
Yeah.
You can still have it.
No, we'll go to you if you like. I'm just going to lay these pretty and keep slicing.
Yeah. Okay. Standing joke with the ladies. I'm not being rude to her. We just yeah. We just muck around. We just have fun.
We do. We have lots of fun together, don't we?
We do have lots of fun. Yeah. We had so much fun yesterday. I know Gay was there yesterday. We had a lovely time yesterday. Anyway, I have 20 seconds left on this, and I can preview and see what's coming up. It says add 500 grams of chicken fillets cut into quarters. So I've got those ready. They're just sitting in here. I pulled them out of the fridge just before. And I'm going to put the simmering basket back on top. Oh, here we go. We're here. So in goes my chicken. Now, really important thing when you are moving through a recipe, I went forward to the next step before I'd taken the lid off, all right, which is fine because I needed to know what I was doing next. But now I do need to make sure that I tear my scales so that they're back on zero. There is absolutely nothing worse than start putting things in and going, oh my goodness, I was on minus something. I've got no idea where I am. Anyway, here's my chicken, and that is going in on the blade cover in that coconut mixture. Coconut, lemongrass, the whole Asian thing there. Okay. Simmering basket back on the top. And now it's going to cook for 18 minutes up to 100 degrees. It's on reverse because we don't want that chicken shredded. We're actually going to shred it later, but I'll show you how to do that. And we're just literally going up to speed 1. Okay, and I'll actually pop a couple of recipes in the chat for you in just a sec too. So Diana, do you want us to come back to you, or Michelle, do you want to?
You can pop over to me if you like. So I'm just laying out the potatoes. They just come out so beautifully and even. And so it's quite easy to make, you know, a nice, neat potato bake where they all line up lovely. Let's see if I can move my camera. So that's just that there. And take the bucket out and you'll see that the bowl is still nice and clean. So that's brilliant. And so don't forget to take this little buddy out, and we're just going to continue on the recipe and you'll see how quick and easy it is. So the next step is, it's asking for 100 grams of Gruyere cheese. Look, I just had cheddar, so I'm just going to use that. And the scales pop up automatically. So we can just pop that all in there. Press next. We're going to pop the lid on and grate that cheese. So everything's all preset for it. And then what it's asking us is to transfer that cheese into a bowl, because what we're going to do, so that cheese there, we're going to sprinkle that on top of our potato bake. So what I love about the Thermomix is that it does tell me, takes all the thinking out for me. So, you know, I know we're not using the cheese straight away, but it's like, let's get that done and then continue on to the rest. So then that helps you cook a lot more efficiently in the kitchen. Okay, all right. And you can use whatever cheese you've got. If you've got Parmesan or a mixture of cheeses, it's perfectly okay. And given the price of groceries, I do also try and find cheaper options if I can. Now, a clove of garlic. If you like it really garlicky, you can certainly add another one there. and we're going to chop up the garlic there. And this is what I love is I don't use my garlic press anymore and I don't get stinky fingers. That's probably one of the best things about the Thermomix, the way it chops up the garlic. So it's just asking us to scrape down the sides of the bowl. So I'll just show you what that's looking like now. Garlic all chopped up. And if you're new to Thermomixing, don't be afraid. Or the instructions are very clear. And I have made a potato bake numerous times in the Thermomix, but I haven't actually done this recipe. So I'm cooking a recipe for the first time live. So you don't need to be afraid. Now, the recipe here is asking for 500 grams of cream. And I just read in the tips that if you wanted to make it a little bit lighter, you can replace some of the cream with milk. And that's what I've done here. So I've got half milk and half cream, and I'm going to tip that in there. But if you wanted to keep it really rich and super creamy, you certainly can. Okay, a teaspoon of salt. This little container I've got from the mix shop, I love. I've got my normal salt there and flake salt on the other side. Some people have pepper on the other side, but it's just so handy when I'm cooking. Only because I think, because it's got that little spoon in there as well. So a pinch of black pepper. I do like a fair amount of pepper, so I pop some pepper in there. And then a pinch of nutmeg. A lot of good potato bakes have some nutmeg in there. I think I was a little bit heavy-handed, but that's okay there. And we're going to pop the lid on. Turn the dial, and that's just going to mix up. So while that's mixing up, I'll just quickly lay out the last lot of my potatoes and my potato bake. And what I love about the TM6 is it's got a preview button there. So you can actually look at the preview button or press the preview button and it will tell you what is happening next. So maybe while you've got your onions sauteing in a recipe, you can go and have a look and think, oh, I need this vegetable chopped up or chicken diced. You can do that while your Thermomix is cooking hands-free or doing a mode hands-free. It just frees up that time. And you can use that with whatever it is, whether it's just popping on a load of washing, helping kids with homework, pouring yourself a glass of wine or a cup of tea, whatever you like. So now all we need to do, what a quick and easy recipe. I've just got to pop the last lot of potatoes, but all we need to do now is just pour that creamy liquid all over those potatoes there. So just trying to pretty it up a little bit because I'm going to have to show you. If it was for just my family, I think I'd just dump it all in. So, because we all know how quickly it gets eaten. We'll pop that in there. And this is a great recipe that you can prep ahead. So you could actually just cover this and pop this in the fridge and then the next day take it out or whenever. Okay, and then we're going to now sprinkle that with cheese. So here's my cheese. And look, if you wanted extra cheesy, go ahead. I think you could never have enough cheese on a potato bake. And I think if you like a little bit of extra flavour, I know some people like to put a touch of Dijon mustard in the sauce as well for a little bit of a kick. So you can always add your little special touches or a little bit of stock paste for extra flavour. There we go. So this is my potato bake. Super quick and easy to prepare. I'm going to pop that into the oven to cook and then hopefully be done by the time the other girls are finished with their cooking. So I'll just take this to the oven now. And who are we heading off to? Is it Michelle or Mandy?
I think it'll be Michelle. Got to do some work.
You ready for me now, girls?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful. We don't do like a rigid run sheet because, you know, we all chat a bit and then we cook a bit. And so we kind of roll with it, but we go, yours is going to take the longest. So you go first and yours is second longest. So you go second. And what I've decided to do tonight is some rice paper rolls using jackfruit. Now, has anyone here used jackfruit before? Put your hand up or pop in the chat. I have seen it in the supermarkets and I've seen it kind of in recipes. It's often used in sort of plant-based recipes. And I was a bit like, confused mind says, no, I don't know what that is. I'm not. So a bit like Diana, I kind of went, you know what? I I want to show you that you can make something you've never made before on live TV. So I love rice paper rolls. They're something my kids like. You know, if they buy them, they're what are they, $4.50 each or something like that. So so it's something where I thought, awesome. It shows the cutter. I'm also learning something new with the jackfruit. So if anyone has used it before, what I didn't get to Google today because I was running around like a little bit of a mad chook was what its nutritional value is. So, but basically, when you cook it, it looks like kind of pulled pork or pulled chicken. So it's kind of gives you that nice texture. And if you are vegetarian or if you're looking to just introduce a bit more plant-based cooking into your diet, it's a great option and not particularly expensive. So what I'm going to do is show you how that works. But then I did a bit of here's some I prepared earlier because it's got to cook in the oven for 20 minutes and then cool down for another 10 minutes. So I figure I'd just do 2 batches and that way I can make some more tomorrow. My failing here, though, is that my kids always usually come in once I cook something and want to eat it, but they're not here. So I guess failing, their loss is my gain. It means that I've got a nice healthy lunch for tomorrow. So I'll take you over to my Thermomix. My other secret is I've actually never rolled a rice paper roll before either. But, right, how hard can it be, right? Anyone who's got any hot tips, though, share them with me before I start. All righty, so here we go. I'm going to bring you to my screen, and I was actually just in the middle of the recipe, so I'm just going to cancel that. So, because I was just making sure I had everything. Okay, so here we are, as I mentioned before, on the home screen. So one of the things that we love about the TM6 and its integration is that it being fully connected is that you can go in and create your weekly meal plans. So I can go into here and look at my week and go, oh, these are the things that I've planned to make today. For those of you who already have a TM6, because I know there's quite a few on, you can change this view. So you can see here, this is showing me from cook today and forward. However, if you want to see something like maybe you planned something for last night and you ended up going out or you ate leftovers or something happened, you can actually go back and scroll back to things that you've made previously and then go, oh yeah, I made that chicken caprese salad last week. That was really lovely. I'm going to make that again. And when you're in the recipe, you can add it to your shopping list from the Thermomix screen. You can move it to another day. So if you plan to make it today and you didn't end up making it, you can move to another day and it'll give you your full calendar. So then you can bring it up and have a look and you can go, yeah, I'm going to make that next week. And then save it in there and it'll appear in the calendar for the week after. So it gives you lots of options there, which is very cool. So this is the one that I'm making, which is rice paper rolls. And it does say in brackets Thermomix Cutter. But I'll give you a little tip. If you didn't have the cutter, you could still make this recipe. You just have to be doing it by hand, which means this time here might be put out a little bit. So it says prep time 40 minutes and total time an hour, but that's allowing for that 30 minutes of the jackfruit cooking, etc. Now you'll notice that it says level of difficulty easy. So, hey, I can do this, right? Prep time, total time, as I mentioned, and then a serving size there. Now, some of our recipes are scaled. So if when you look at that, you see a little hyperlink, it means that you can go into that recipe and it'll give you some options. So there are things like, say, porridge for breakfast, and it'll give you the option of 2, 4, or 6 servings, for example. So you can go in, or, you can do the maths in your head and do that yourself as well. All of our recipes have the information down the left-hand side. So I'm going to show you the process of the jackfruit and what it looks like. But I hate to say I have got some pre-made. So it's preheat the oven. That bit's easy. Line a baking tray. That bit's easy. And we start off with a garlic clove. And now it said echalons. Now I went to the local greengrocer and they didn't have any. So I've just gone with spring onions. So I think Mandy already mentioned before, I think it was about her abundance of ginger. Do what works for you. So if something's got garlic and you don't like it, leave it out. If you like it, put in extra. So you can really choose your own adventure. We do say it's a guide, you're still in control. So I've popped my garlic clove and my spring onions in there. It's set for 3 seconds and it's asked me to go to speed 5. Now, because spring onions are a little bit softer, I'm actually going to go to speed 6 just to give it a little bit more power to chop those. Alrighty, so I think we all get a bit wowed by that light, okay? By that chopping there. In fact, it was funny. We did a demo together yesterday at our Moorabbin office, and Diana did something and then was showing everybody, and then I was like looking in the bowl as if I'd never seen that before. I was having a bit of a laugh going, why am I looking? I've seen that before, but I'm still wowed. So yeah, it was a bit of fun. So 2 teaspoons of peanut oil. So I'm just going to do a little bit of it, dollop. Now that's the beauty of this as well. If you're somebody who likes to measure things exactly, you can absolutely do that. But if you like to be precise, then if you're a bit of a should be right, then that's okay too. So roll with what you like to do. Now that's going to cook for a couple of minutes, but I don't need to do the whole thing. So do either of you need to show anything, or I'm good now?
I've got 5.5 minutes to go.
Perfect. All right. Well, what I might do then, in the interest of fast tracking that, so that was going to saute, then we were going to add the jackfruit. Now let me show you what the jackfruit looks like. It looks a bit like, almost a bit like a pineapple, slightly softer, or pineapple, artichoke. It's an interesting, like as I said, I hadn't seen one before. If anyone has anyone commented that they've used it before or cooked with it before? I'd be interested to know what you think. So what we'll do, and I'll show you a little trick here, is one of the cool things about the cutter is that when you use the cutter, you can actually, if you've got things in the bowl, you can still actually put that in. So what I'm going to do is go into my recipe detail. So that's from the 3 little dots next to the next button, and scroll down to where it says vegetables. So it says place a bowl on the mixing bowl lid, and that's so I can weigh in my vegetables. Now I've already pre-weighed my vegetables that are going in this, and I'm putting in the cutter shaft, sits in the top there, and then popping my whole cutter attachment on the top there, on the top of that jug. Okay, very easy. Alrighty, so I'm just going to bring my veggies forward because they were just around the side here. And what this has, I've got my lettuce, my carrot, and my cucumber. So very simple ingredients. So what you saw with the potatoes was slicing. So I've got that. We're going to go, yeah, we've got that. So it says insert the cutter shaft with the cutting side disc side number 1 up, which is slicing. So it's very specific. You really can't get it wrong. Place the cutter lid into position. So that's what that is there. And then put the lettuce in through the top. So I had a cos lettuce. I've sort of cut that in half. Shove that in there. And then gently, it'll say gently pop that down. So once that starts to feed through, I can put the other piece in. I'm going to go next. It's set for a minute. It won't take a minute, but it just means it gives you plenty of time. So I'm turning around. Gave me a minute. It took me 12 seconds. That's not bad, is it? All right, so look how beautifully that lettuce is sliced there. Can you see that? Pretty cool, hey? So I'm just going to grab out a plate. So perfect for sandwiches as well. And this is really fine because it's going into our wrap. But look how beautifully it's sliced that close. So imagine that yesterday, Mandy did a beautiful coleslaw with really thinly sliced cabbage, which was beautiful as well. All righty, done that. So now we're going to flip this over with the grating side facing up. And we're going to put the cucumber in. Here we go. I had to take that out. Perfect. All right, so we're going to grate the cucumber. Beautiful. So quick, hey? I've actually used this a few times for kids' lunches where I've gone, oh, I haven't really got anything prepared, and need to put it back out. And then just gone, oh, I've got a bit of lettuce in there, and then I'll throw together sort of some things. So this now has cut the cucumber kind of julienne style. Plate next to the lettuce. Hopefully you can see that okay. And last but not least, we're going in, and now we're still doing the grating, and now we're just putting a carrot in. I just had a nice big fat carrot, so that's what's going in there. And again, it's set it for a minute, but I think I'm only going to need another few minutes. 3 seconds. That's not bad, is it? Tell me, anyone who's already got the cutter, tell me what sort of things that you've been doing with it, or are you a bit afraid to use it? It might still be in the box. Just going to move that to the side. Now we're adding a bit of colour to the plate. Now, what you can see here, this was the thin slice and the thick grate. You also have a choice of a thick slice and a thin grate, just to tongue tie myself. So your thin grate is a really beautiful, fine grate, like what you would sort of maybe use in sandwiches or that sort of thing, and really lovely for things like radish or beetroot or any of those sorts of things. So my next instruction is to prepare the rice paper wrappers. So I was reading the instructions about that. Has anyone given me any tips, girls, or am I just winging it?
They're fun, Michelle.
Pardon?
They're fun.
They're fun. So
I've made them for girlfriends, and they were a little bit messy, but they tasted good. And that's, you know, that's the main thing.
And I think, you know what, that's actually the fun thing with stuff like this. Remember we made samosas once, and Milan was showing us, and Milan's Indian, and they were folded beautifully. Hers were like perfect, and ours were like these wonky things. But once we fried them up and put them on the plate, it actually just looked really, you know, homemade, and they were delicious. So yeah, good fun. So it actually says to have a little dish of water, not too hot and not too cold. It actually says 50 degrees to be precise. I've just stuck my finger in it. I think it's good. And then what I've got here is the cooked jackfruit. So how, like, if I hadn't told you what that was, what would you think it was?
Looks like chicken to me.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. And it's sort of got that, you know, like pulled texture about it as well, which is quite cool. So let's come down here. We'll just watch this for a second. So I'm just going to, I didn't have a dish big enough to put the whole thing in. So we'll just go around in a circle like that. And I thought because the other thing they talk about is it being sticky. So hopefully our silicone mat is the right thing to do it on. What would you girls suggest about that?
I think that sounds like a good idea.
Perfect. Excellent. Because it's all about having the right tools for the job. All right.
Well, I've just had a quick look at my potato bake, and
Yeah.
it's looking and smelling delicious. So this is all ready for tomorrow's dinner. So that's easy. I'll just need to whip up a salad, and I think the boys have requested some steaks. So that's most of dinner done for tomorrow.
I've just found a reason why the mat's tricky. I can't see the rice paper roll. All right. So I think the trick too with these things is to not be too heavy-handed. You know when kids make tacos and they load it up and then the whole thing explodes? So I'm going to try and be a little bit, you know, not too heavy-handed with it. So I've got rice. What am I saying? Rice. I've got the rice paper roll. I've got some lettuce. I've got some cucumber. It said some herbs. Let's see. I've got some basil here. And again, you know, it had some ideas. It said mint, whatever, you know. Again, it's always just a bit of choose your own adventure. But so put the things that you like in. And if you don't have something, you know, that the recipe says, leave it out. That's okay. All right. So now I'm going to get a bit of this jackfruit. Oops.
You might have a guest for lunch tomorrow.
Yeah, I did actually speak to a girlfriend of mine who's vegetarian today, and I said, if you're in the area, pop in tomorrow, because I feel like it's going to make quite a few, and you know, I can't eat them all. So absolutely, if you're in the area, please stick your head in. All righty. So I did watch a YouTube clip before, and it had fold the sides in first. Is everyone kind of on board with that?
Yeah.
And then actually, I'm kind of doing it on the other side. But what it then did was fold. So I folded the other end in, covering the jackfruit. because that's quite saucy. So get my finger unstuck from that rice paper roll. So it actually, I think the logic of that is that then that won't sort of be soggy from the sauce. What do you reckon?
Clever.
So see, I've got the rice paper over the top of that as well.
Yeah.
And then you kind of just roll it in. I think I've actually done a lot.
Good job.
Look at that.
Well done.
I'm impressed. I'm
Yeah.
impressed.
$4.50. Who wants to buy one?
No, I'm coming to get one for free.
Oh, all right. You know,
You
I'm
know
a
where you
stealer.
live.
You know, I like to feed people, so I would give you one for free. Well, there you go. I'm super impressed with that. Has everyone fallen asleep? I hope I'm really indulging myself here, learning new things. But how fun! And I really wish my daughters were here. They'd be so impressed that that would be in their lunchbox tomorrow.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well done.
And it's so
Cool.
healthy as well, which is nice, like fresh and coming into summer, like this would be a fantastic dish. And you could even prep it ahead for parties, picnics. Yeah.
Definitely. And the other thing you could add in there, and in fact, I think the recipe might have, did it say that? I can't remember. But you could also put rice noodles in there.
Oh,
You
yes.
have them have the rice noodles.
I'm
So-
thinking coriander.
Pardon?
Coriander, I reckon.
Oh, actually, do you know, I've got a big bunch of that up there too. So anything, they said, it said mint and basil for this one, but again,
Yeah.
whatever
whatever.
you like and whatever you've got. But yeah, you could put the noodles in there. You could leave it the way it is, have a bit of a dipping sauce. In fact, that satay sauce you made before, Mandy, would probably be quite nice with it.
Oh,
as well.
yeah. Awesome.
So I'm guessing that your 5 minutes might be up. So should
Yeah.
we
Yeah, it
use
is.
your poached chicken salad? And I might roll a couple more of these and see how I go.
Yeah. Okie doke. All right. I can do this. Okay, so the chicken's finished cooking, and the next thing it asked me to do was to take it out of the broth. Remember, it was the lemongrass, the leaves and the lime leaves, and the coconut milk. So I've taken it out. But the other thing I just wanted to show you, Michelle was saying about a couple other things. So we actually had a salad for dinner, and that's a thin sliced cucumber. And then this is the really finely grated carrot, which I just think is absolutely awesome. So I just thought I'd show you those. So that's my chicken out there. And then what it's asking me to do is transfer it on the plate and let it cool slightly. So I'm just going to pop it over there. And then transfer approximately 100 grams of the coconut broth into a jug and set aside. So I don't know if any of you do this, but what I'm going to do is put a jug on there because my scales are on there. I'm going to access through the 3 little dots up here, my scales, and I'm going to pour 100 grams of the liquid into there. There we go. All right. So yeah, so the 3 little dots will take you to all sorts of places. Wherever you see 3 dots, click on them and they will take you somewhere. Discard the rest. So now this is the bad thing. Okay, it says discard the rest of the broth and the lemongrass and the lime leaves. But I'm going to pop a recipe in here in a minute, which is what I'm going to use it for. There's an awesome soup, which I know Michelle's also made, called Tom Kha Gai, and it's an Asian style chicken soup. And I've got some chicken left, so I'm going to turn that into a soup later as well. So and then it's asking me to take out the blade cover. I'm going to just pull out a second bowl because I have one. Although I don't really need it, actually, thinking about what's next. Because, but I would pull the blade cover out if I was doing all this. But we decided, you've seen 2 people use the cutter. You didn't need to see a 3rd person use the cutter. So they're saying clean and dry the mixing bowl. And as I did say to the girls earlier, if I had been doing that, I actually would have done this at the beginning, because then my bowl was clean. Everything gets chopped or sliced into the cutter bowl, and I can just keep going rather than having to clean and dry the mixing bowl. We always look for shortcuts. It's asking me to put some snow peas. I've got sugar snap peas. I've gone a bit rogue with the veggies on this. Bean sprouts, not really into bean sprouts, so gave them a miss. And then it was using the cutter to prepare the other vegetables, which was, there was some herbs in there, which I've got some coriander and some mint. And then it's, sorry, what that was. Wombok cabbage, but as we were talking before at Moorabbin yesterday, I made a coleslaw, so I had some purple cabbage left, so I just did that. So, so it's the cabbage, which I sliced in there very finely, and the carrot. So they were both done in the Thermomix Cutter. So actually, the last thing I do need to do, so keep going with this. And another way you can do this, of course, skipping forwards in a recipe, is again, go to the 3 dots, go recipe detail. You can scroll down here, and done all that, up to the salad, done the salad. Okay, so I'm up to here. So I do actually need to get rid of that, but I'm going to use the clean bowl. No, here it is. Okay. So all I'm going to do now is shred up the chicken. Has anybody shredded chicken before?
I have all the time.
Yes. Yep. Any of our guests? Anybody know what speed you do and how you shred chicken? Because it's the most awesome thing. You can do it with pork as well. I'm going to put this in. If anybody's got any ideas, please pop them into the chat. I'll give you a second.
I'm trying to be quiet and not blurt it out.
I know.
I'm one of those kids that knows the answer and I just want to say it.
Okay. Well, I'll do it. It says 5 seconds speed 4. I normally do 4 seconds speed 4 on reverse. Okay, but I'm going to do the 5 seconds. So there's my.
Got it. 4-second reverse in a TM31. So that hasn't changed. Well done.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yes, perfect. Thanks, Alison.
And the shredded chicken is just perfect for sandwiches or to sprinkle over lunches, like salads and things like that. So quite often in the mornings, if I don't have anything for the school sandwiches, I'll just, oh, that's beautiful, Mandy. I'll often there's a recipe with TM6 exclusive with the sauteed chicken cubes where it cooks it on the high heat and browns it, and it's full of flavour, and then I just shred that afterwards and use that.
Awesome. We might go and see how Michelle's going with her, and I'm just going to plate this up. Basically, I'm going to put that salad on the bottom, a bit of the chicken on top, and then it's a mixture of in fact, I'm going to mix it up together. Remember I had that, the chili and the ginger and everything. I'm going to mix that broth up with that. It says pour them over separately, but why would you do that? I'm going to mix it up, and that's the dressing. And then just a few of the peanuts on top and a few of those fried shallots as well, because, you know, that's very Asian. So I'll get that, plating that up, and we'll go back and see how Michelle's going with her rice paper rolls.
Oh, I'm doing great. Look, I've made 3 now. I'm just showing off. But hey, the other thing I thought I'd show you, because I'm going away on the weekend for a few days, so I always do this. I'm going to clean my fridge because I don't want anything to go to waste. And so I had a few mandarins that were a bit sort of, you know, not nice enough for a lunchbox, but not, you know, certainly nothing I'd throw out. So whenever that happens, it'll either go in the freezer or I'll make a juice. And I kind of figure, if I make a juice tonight, then I've got one for the morning. And I know a lot of people ask about juicing in the Thermomix. So has anyone got a minute for me to make you a juice tonight? I actually found, so we have an orange tree in our backyard. We share it with the possums, and we managed to get a few for us. So I actually found a recipe that was orange and mandarin juice. So I have got here my oranges and my mandarins. Now it does say to take all the white pith off and stuff. That's just really about the bitterness. So I'm a bit lazy. I don't bother. But I also had a few strawberries, and, you know, they're not moldy, but they're just soft. They're not nice enough to put in a lunchbox or whatever. So I'm going to throw them in my juice as well. I had a little piece of ginger, and I had a few blueberries as well. So they were just all things that were, again, I never throw anything out. So just think about what you can do with it. All of these things could have gone in the freezer as well to use another time. You could turn it into a fruity dream, which is one of our favourite ice cream desserts, sort of a healthy treat for the kids. Or you can do what I'm doing now, which is just a juice. What I often do with the kids actually is I make these sort of juices, and then I'll bring them out and I go, I've made a juice. You have to guess what's in it. And I'll say there are 6 things, or there are 5 things, or there are 8 things, and then they you know, then they'll kind of have a play and see if they can guess what it is. And obviously some flavors are more distinctive than others, aren't they? So I'm going to go into my week, and I had chosen this recipe, which is mandarin and orange. I'm going to go straight into it and go start cooking. So it says 6 mandarins, approximately 415 grams. So I had 6 and 2 oranges. My oranges were pretty little, so I've actually used 3 oranges. Now it says a lemon. I didn't put the lemon in, but I've got a bit of ginger, as I said, and I've got some berries. Now, it actually also says sugar. I'm not going to add sugar because I don't mind. I figure my berries will add a little bit of sweetness to this juice, so I don't think I need to add sugar. And again, that's where we say it's completely up to you. Now, where's my ice? So what the ice will do is help break up all the fibres. So I just had a few ice cubes in this thermoserver to keep them cold and frozen. And we're going to pop that lid on. The beauty of a juice like this is that, and actually in that minute someone might want to talk, but because the oranges and mandarins have a lot of juice, it may not need any water. Whereas if it was, say, carrots and beetroot and things like that, you'd be adding a bit of water. So this we'll have a look at it and I'll see if it needs water or not. So speed 5.
I'm just having a look for the Tom Kha Gai recipe, which I will pop up here too, because it is a really delicious soup. Very easy and the perfect way to use up the rest of the coconut mixture that my chicken's poached in, because in the recipe, that's pretty much what you do. All right. Oh, for gosh, what the recipe is.
Well, I took my potato bake out.
Oh.
And it's being nice and browned, and I think we can, like, I could probably cook it for a bit longer, but I'm actually I haven't checked to see if it's cooked through yet, but I'll just show you.
It looks delicious.
How good is that? And how easy was that? It's like
awesome.
It's foolproof, hands-free cooking. That's what we love around here. So that's for tomorrow's dinner. So I didn't mind if it wasn't properly cooked through because I'll heat that all up again tomorrow. But that was a nice, simple, quick and easy side dish. So, you know, if you've got a barbecue or something happening, you need to bring a dish, you can always add a potato bake. And the good thing is too, this is the cast iron dish from the mix shop, and it's only half full. So if you did actually want to bulk this recipe up, it's one of those ones that you can double, triple, whatever, quite easily, and feed a crowd too. And it makes a great vegetarian dish as well. So all you need to do is make just a nice crisp garden salad, and I think everyone would be very happy with that. So good. Awesome, any cheeses from a cheese platter that's left over as well.
Yeah. And there's another recipe is just the vegetable bake, where I use different vegetables in the
Yes.
bake, which is awesome.
Yes.
I'll just show you, I plated up this salad. There we go.
Oh, that looks so fancy.
It is so fancy. It's so delicious too. I can't wait. That's my lunch. Oh, no, sorry. I'm going around for a jackfruit thing. But if I wasn't, I've got lunch as well. So
that is restaurant quality. Look at that.
Well, I'm very impressed. I think I need to make that recipe now.
I know.
It's really delicious. I've made it quite a lot and it is awesome.
This is what we love about doing these classes, is each one of us will make something where the others go, oh, I'm going to make that now, because we're all, you know, we have different families and different things that we're cooking for. So I did add a little bit of water. The recipe says half a litre. I didn't feel like it needed that much, and you'll notice, you may have noticed that I didn't take the tops off my strawberries. No need, give them a wash, bit of extra fibre. No one knows, you can't taste it. So, and I've got some good. Oh, yum.
I'm just wondering if you're going to turn fluoro orange. It looks a bit fluoro orange.
It is a bit orange, but it's delicious. Normally, actually, when I do a choose your own adventure juice, because blueberries often go in, but if they're skinny as well, it goes a bit brown. It's not pretty. Yeah. I often say, close your eyes and just taste it, because it doesn't look pretty, but it tastes good. But this one looks pretty too.
It does.
And, you know, with lots of bugs going around, what a great option to have a nice vitamin C hit as well. So how's that for my healthy night? I say that because I did eat honeycomb today that Diana made yesterday, and I went, I'll just take some pieces for the kids, and they never saw them again. So, so thank you so much for joining us all tonight, people. We've had lots of fun. I think we've really indulged ourselves tonight. So I hope there's been something tonight that you've gone, wow, I'm going to have a go at that. Pop it in the chat if there is, or if you've got any questions. We'll stop recording in a minute so you can just stay on and have a chat with us if you would like. If you're interested in upgrading your Thermomix or investing in a TM6, please speak to whoever invited you tonight, because I know they would happily help you get a Thermomix on your bench and show you how to use it. If you've already got a Thermomix on your bench and you want to have your own personal in-home demo with you and a couple of friends, you would be eligible for host rewards. So some of the things that we've used tonight, including the mat that I've used, thermo servers, the cutter. So depending on what your needs are, we've got lots of things to choose from, or your next year's Cookie Do subscription, which is also one of our great options. Or if you're going, I love those crazy gals, I want to join them. Well, let me know and I can give you some information about that. We do actually have an information session tomorrow morning at 11:30 on Zoom. So thank you again for joining us, and we have loved cooking for you. I will send the recording through, and we are doing this all again next Thursday, but with, of course, completely different dishes, keeping in mind that, you know, with grand final on the weekend and lots of people entertaining. In fact, my sister-in-law rang today and she's already put, I'm doing pasta salad and I'm doing coleslaw. So that'll be like, oh, easy peasy. So if you've got any inspirational things you'd like to see next Thursday, let me or let us know and we will see if we can accommodate you. I will stop recording, and as I said, I'll stay on if anyone has any questions and wants to come off mute. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Diana. Thanks, Mandy. Amazing.
Everyone.
Pleasure.